How are we this evening? Welcome to this Saturday's session with PD. Hi, Jumai, how are you? And Tender Hearts is, I know who you are. Delapo Davidson, how are you? Shini Bay, how are you? Zita, how are you? Hi people, let me see, who is this? Zulai. Hi Zulai, how are you? Abby, hi Abby, how are you? How are we all doing today? We're gonna have an hour of wisdom and freedom with PD. We're going to be talking about intimacy and communication in relationships and marriage. Yasmin, how are you? How are we doing today? Wave, wave. Zeni, how are you? I need to hear from you. Hi. Amazing, 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 amazing. So yeah, hello Zilai, how are you? Hi Yasmin. Lori, is that Lori? Hi. Okay people, today we're talking about intimacy and communication in relationships and marriage. And communication leads to intimacy. Communication is just the currency of relationship. When there is no communication, the relationship starts to dwindle and die out. So it's something that we have to do intentionally all the time. While we're loading up and getting your questions, I'll just, first of all, throughout this session, this hour, throughout this session, feel free to ask any question on any topic. The main topic today is communication, but feel free to ask any question on life, on love, on relationships, whatever question you have in mind. I will try my best to give you a wise answer. Okay. So that is good, and feel free to suggest topics for us to treat in future. I'm going to do this every Saturday at 8:30. I think I'll stick with it. Every Saturday at 8:30 we'll just do this, and we'll have some fun. Okay. First thing, I'll go back to where I was last week, and in one rule of love that all of us have to make foundational, us and our partners, if we plan to really enjoy ourselves, is that love is not about you. Love is always about the other person. So as long as both of you have that mindset that love is about the other person, things are going to work out. It's when we get selfish and we want it our way and we're not trying to listen to any other person's way, and we think we're right and we're willing to fight for being right. That's one thing I just want to throw out there. Never fight for being right. Fight for peace. Fight for peace instead. It's so much sweeter when you are in peace. Okay? We'll get into that one day. We'll do a session on peace. I'll just put this out here. It's the relationships that you work on that work. Did you get that? I'll say it one more time. It's the relationships that you are willing to work on that work. And it's something that you have to discuss with your partner. That, are you the kind of person that will work on the relationship? You would read a book, you will attend a seminar, you will come with me for counseling. And if they say no, if you're not married, leave them. Because if they're not teachable, they are going to be a problem. Am I talking to anybody? If they're not teachable, they are going to be a problem. So you want a person who is willing to learn. Life is a journey of education and learning. And the more we learn, the better we get at whatever it is that we're doing, especially relationships. So if you've got a guy, and discuss this thing, it's part of your communication. Tell him, okay, you like right now, you like me, you want to be with me. Okay, are you going to be willing to come with me for counseling, for make a plan, And I'll tell you one more thing is this: plan for your marriage. I'll ask a question really, really quick. How much money have you spent on clothes this year? How much money have you spent on your hair, on your eyebrows this year? And how much money have you spent on your marriage, on getting your marriage better? If we answer these questions, if we're married and we answer these questions, you're going to find out that you're going to discover some things about yourself because if you want it to work, you're going to spend money on it. You're going to make an effort on it. You're going to make it work. Let me bring on Judy really quick. And Judy, where is Judy? Right here. I'm looking for Judy. Request to come on. Okay, fantastic. I have 2 requests already. Judy, if you're not on time, I'll take somebody. Okay. Men and women were wired differently. We're just wired differently. You know, men have boxes in their heads. They can compartmentalize things. Okay, and women have like everything is connected. It's like spaghetti. So everything is connected to everything. A man can be in a mess tonight, complete mess with you tonight, and go home, and then he'll come back tomorrow morning and he'll just behave like nothing happened. Like things just continue where it was, and you're looking at him like, are you kidding me? Are you really kidding me? But don't blame him. He can actually do that. And that's going to really surprise you. Okay. Let me see here. Okay. You're making me work. You're making me work. I'm looking for. Why can I not find Judy? Judy, request. You're not on my request list. I have Chinibe and I have Cynthia here. Judy, where are you? If not, I'll take Chinibe or I'll take Cynthia. I see Yasmin. I see. I don't know what you're doing. Okay. You know what? Cynthia, let's hear. Let's. So also, while she's joining, there's something called unspoken expectations. Do not, and I've seen people do this, like, I expect every man to know this, or I just expect a woman to know this. Don't just expect. If you haven't verbalized it, it's not on the table. It's called an unspoken expectation, and it ruins relationships because you expect that, okay, this is Judy right here. Go live with Judy. Okay. Go live with Judy right here. Judy is unable to join. Okay. That is interesting. Okay, people. So as I was saying, you've got to speak out your expectations, and that is really, really important. Communication is like oxygen, especially to women. Most women, not all, but most women, they have to have communication. In fact, most women would prefer that you do something else to them than to cut them off and not talk to them. So let's start to learn this. If you're a guy, you don't need a lot of communication, but a woman needs communication. She needs to talk. It's like oxygen. If you starve her communication, you are starving the love she has for you, and it's going to come back and bite you where it hurts. Okay? So there. Let me try this one more time. Okay, people. Okay, let me go back to where Judy and 2 others sent requests. View. Okay, view. Hey, finally. Okay, so as I was saying, and there are different types of communication. I'm going to throw this out, and I hope somebody asks me later. There's functional communication. It's functional, so that that is functional. Then there's love. There's a love language. So there's a functional language. There's love language. There's money language, and there's body language, and they all exist. I am waiting for somebody to come on, but I have not seen anybody so far. Where are you guys? Where are you guys? Where are you? Is where you cannot. Women have an ear-heart connection. I'll tell you that. So if you're communicating with a woman, you want to capture her ears. If she would allow you to capture her ears, and you're saying the right thing, you will eventually capture her heart. Okay, so one more time, I'm going to attempt to add somebody, and it's struggling. Judy, you pressed the wrong thing, you declined it. Again, let me try this. Okay. Just bear with us for 1 minute. We'll get it in a minute. Okay, as we are going, I don't know, maybe the internet is slow, but I see it's struggling. Okay. So communication. Let's get some questions online. Let's get some questions online. While I don't want to talk too much before I answer the questions. Okay. Um, I'll give you a tip here. Women like to have things resolved. Like women communicate to connect. Now, guys, if can you hear this? Women communicate to connect. They communicate to connect. So just hear that. If she wants to communicate, it's a good thing. Many times we men think, she's talking too much, but she's trying to communicate and she wants to connect. And you want the connection, but you might not want the communication, but you can get the connection without the communication. So, there's a communication gets you to the connection and you want the connection. I can tell you that. Okay, so you want to talk. Even if you don't feel like talking, you talk. And the more she talks, the more she opens up. The more she opens up, the more she's getting intimate with you emotionally. Most women will desire to get intimate with you emotionally before they get intimate with you physically. Guys were different. A guy can jump in and out like he wants. You're not supposed to, but you can. But women, most women struggle with that. So you want to be. Let me try one more time. Add, yes, add. If not, what I can do, I can change the source of my internet if this internet is struggling this hard to get people on. I don't know if it's internet or not. Anyway, this is a tip for married women. A tip. Now, women, we know you need communication to connect. Okay, but this is for married women. This is for married women. Okay. If it's time and it's on, and most times you want to settle things before you release yourself to him, to your husband, and but then you want to bring up what he did earlier on, and you want to just sort it out in your mind before you go on. I understand that, but by the time you're done, he's off. He's like not feeling like it anymore. You just get my point. So we've got to have the capacity sometimes to give him a break, get it over with, and then when it's done and he's feeling all intimate, then you can say, well, you know what, that thing you did the other day, it really hurt me, darling, and then he'll say he's sorry, and then everything is good. Okay, are we good? Fantastic. Okay. I'm checking to see some questions there. Fantastic. Okay. First question here is, I feel we are too close to get married. I really like him, but he's like a brother to me. I'll tell you this. Personally, the best person you could ever marry in your life is your best friend. The problem that when people come to me for counseling, one recurrent problem that I see a lot is that people are not friends. They've managed to become lovers without having a friendship foundation. So when the hormones are down and anything affects that level of love, there's nothing to hold them together. And so if this guy is like your best friend, start to look at him in a different light, because he's going to make it your best husband. That's my advice for real. I feel I'm too close to get married. What is too close to get married? I don't get this. I mean, I guess you no longer see him like he's sexy or he's desirable physically. If you can get past that, it's a good thing, because the best person anybody can marry is the best friend. Me to be my best friend. That's what it's got to be. So that was that. Does long distance relationship reduce intimacy in marriage? Like I said, distance affects intimacy for sure. Anytime you plan to go apart, at the same time you made the plan to go apart, make a plan to come back together. So what keeps you going is that every day that passes is a day closer to when you're going to come back together. And while you're away, make sure that you talk. Make sure, video calls actually keep people intimate. So call and see, do a lot of video calls, stay hooked up, and and just press till you get to the finish line. Did you get that? If I answer any question and there are subsequent questions, regarding the same thing, please just say back. Just have a follow-up question. Hi Sally, I can see ya. Okay, I feel to this. Should religion be a barrier to marriage? I actually think so because it's like this. If I love my God so much, how am I able to love somebody that doesn't love my God? As it's close, like I do. And somebody of a different faith does not love your God at all. So how do I say I love my God, but then I am able to give the same heart I give to my God to a person who has no love for my God? So to be quite frank, for me, I think that it really doesn't work. Um, as a man, I enjoy my wife coming after me, like being all over me, but she feels it's a man's thing. She's always wanting me to be doing the lovey thing, but she won't make me feel like she really wants me. It affects my intimacy with her. I have told her, but she doesn't think it's a big deal. What should I do? Actually, it's a big deal, and actually, don't change. Keep. And I hope she's watching. So this is not like you trying to put words in my mouth. Love is two-sided. You can't just be receiving and then you're not giving. That's selfish. That's extremely selfish. And love is always about the other person. Like the foundational rule, love is always about the other person. So if she wants you to come to her and do the chasing, and then she doesn't do anything, what is that? It's so one-sided. It's so lopsided. It's wrong. It's bad. Send it to me. I'll talk to her. Give her my number. Okay, it's a big deal. She should change her mindset because it's killing your love. And after a while, you see, she's going to she's going to show some bitterness in you that whether you like it or not, it's going to reflect into the marriage and she's not going to enjoy it. So she better need to start sowing some really good seed right now so she can continue getting a good harvest. My boyfriend is not the type that shows emotions. He's very unromantic, but I know he really loves me at the same time. I like my man to be romantic. Marriage with him scares me. I don't even know what to expect. Do you think he'll change? Now, I'm happy that you're not yet married, so you want to have a talk with him. And I understand that. I know a lot of men, the way they were brought up like they just have not been shown a lot of love. They've been taught to be hard, and it's an African thing that we need to overcome. But it's like this. If you let him know that this is an issue for you, what he needs is help. Because to be quite frank, he doesn't know what to do. He needs another man that he respects to tell him what to do. Somebody that he would listen to and do what he says. So if you want, bring him to me. I'll talk to him. I'll counsel him. But it's not a bad thing. Treat a woman like a woman. Help her out. Let her feel wanted. Being romantic is not rocket science. But for a lot of people, they don't know what to do, and they can't even see why it's important. But it's very, very important. It's just very, very important. So please get him on this platform. I know if you go to my videos on this profile, there's a ton of videos that I'm a guy just like him. He can't be more macho. I mean, I'm as macho as they come. I'm a man's man. And if I'm saying that, if I'm saying this, I believe a lot of people will actually respect that. So please, hook him up and tell him it's important. And the things you tell him before you get married, you listen to. Once you're married, once you bought the car, I shouldn't use the word car. But if you pay the price, the motivation is just not there. So this is a good time to get him there. My husband of 6 months tells his mom all that is happening in our marriage, and I don't feel comfortable with it. What should I do? My question is, didn't you guys get counseled before you got married? There's one big thing that we teach when people are about to get married, and it's like this: you don't take your marital situations home. You don't, because what happens is this: you tell your parents the problems you're having, and they kind of take offense with your spouse. But you guys are living in the same house, so in a while you guys sleep in the same bed, you make up, and then you keep moving. But guess what? The parent on either side didn't make up. They didn't sleep in the same bed with you guys. So that's one offense. The next time that there's an offense, you go back home and you tell them. And it's cumulative. They're adding all the offenses up. After a while, they are not going to like your spouse. After a while, they are going to give you very bad advice, against your spouse. And what you're doing is what I call you're tainting the water. It's like you're a fish and you're swimming in clear water. Each time you report to your parents what's going on at home, you're tainting the water. After a while, that water is no longer clear. it starts to get murky, and vision is bad, and mistakes start getting made. So actually, you don't want to do that. So talk to him. Talk to him. Get somebody. See, and I'll tell you, if you are a woman, every single woman here on this platform, listen to me carefully. You must make sure that your boyfriend or your man has a man that he respects, who can call him to order. You know, who, and you both agree that, you know, if we have problems, we will go to this person who will speak into our marriage. If you don't have it, the day he goes off track with you, you will have no way to pull him back, no reins on him to draw him back onto the path. And how can I say, the time to put it in place is before you get married. After you get married, you got to beg for things, you know, because you got to come to compromises and agreements. Before marriage, he wants you so much that he'll bend, and you put these things in place, and that is so true. Yes, NFO, that is true. Good. So don't go home and tell your mom everything that's going on in your home. I mean, come on. You're like you and your wife, you are like you are the one unit. Your parents, your siblings become your extended family. Okay? What would you say when it comes to love and money, especially when the guy is not too stable? Love and money. A lot of people argue a lot about love, about money. Okay, and like I said, there's a money language. We're going to talk about money languages in a while. I mean, very soon. But there are money languages. Different people want to do different things. Hey, praise the Lord!
Hi. Finally. Oh my
Finally,
God.
what happened?
It's internet. I've been literally trying to connect since you came on.
Yeah, I know. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How's
Fantastic. So this
everybody?
is Judy Alexis. So Judy, hi. I was answering a question. I'll finish this question, and then you'll ask me your questions. So it's about now the man that you follow has got to be able to afford to put a roof over your head, afford to feed you, afford the basic things in life. Now, the basic things in life differ for different people. So he's got to afford what's basic for you. Okay. He's got to have potential to make money. He's got to be a hard worker. Okay, and teachable. So he's growing. He's got to be open to taking advice, and just, you know. But if he does that, then it can work. Because I don't know exactly how much money he has. Said you said it's not stable, but money. If you both understand money, then you won't have a problem. It should not be a problem. Love trumps finances, but then you've got to know what love is to know how to work things out. Hi, Judy. Talk to me, Judy.
Hi,
Talk
PJ.
to me. Hi.
No, I've
How's it
been
going?
fine. It's been really interesting so far. I mean, but from listening to you, what do you think are some of the major mistakes? I don't know if this is something you covered already, but what are like some of the major mistakes that people make in communication, especially when it's communication around disagreements? Because I think you touched on it a little bit, but like men often see it as nagging if you're maybe repeating your point continuously, or so what's
But
the best
sometimes
way
women
you
not
think?
too, though, right?
Yes, exactly. Sometimes women nag, hey. But I mean, what do you think sometimes like the best way of getting your point across if you feel you're not being
um,
heard?
okay. Most, like, the first thing is this: don't get angry. Don't communicate angrily. I like, later on, if I have the time, I'll talk about what kills communication, and anger is one of them. Where if stuff happens, don't get angry. Have a discussion, and always assume. Like, for me, if, like, for example, if we have an appointment and I'm supposed to meet you somewhere, and I'm there and you don't show up, in my mind, I'm going to say, well, maybe there's traffic. Okay, why didn't you call? Maybe your phone didn't work. Maybe the battery ran down. I'll make a lot of excuses. So I'm in a good frame of mind. So when you show up, it's like, hi, what happened? And I'll give you a chance to say whatever, and then it's fine. We can keep going. But some
Yeah.
people, they thought, why didn't he call? Why is his phone not working? Why is he late? They're angry. So by the time you show up, the date is done. Anger
Yeah.
has taken over everything. But so you don't want to do that. And always talk in a considerate way. Always think about the other person. How are they taking what I'm saying? Now, sometimes I see people communicate in a way that you know that what you're saying is going to piss them off. So why do you say it? You're in a relationship with somebody. You're going to tell them something that you know is going to piss them off, and somehow you think maybe that might move them to do what you want to do. It's not. You're not going to get a good. Then also people are selfish. I've seen where men just refuse to just see why. It's like, why would I do this for you? And that's not the attitude in a relationship or in a marriage. That's why. Or you're trying to teach a lesson. I mean, I've seen it too where the guy wants to. You're not her father. She's not looking to be fathered all over
Yeah.
again. So why trying to teach her a lesson by either withholding something or acting up? Don't do that. I mean, why? Your sole purpose for your existence in her life is to be a blessing and to show her love and care. And that's her sole existence in yours. And if you both will keep to that job description, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
How about that? Did that work?
Yeah. No, that's a great answer. I know that one of the things we wanted to talk about, and that's something that I really, really, really enjoy, is the 5 love languages. And I don't know if everybody listening knows about love languages.
Tell us, Judy, the 5 love languages.
I love these love languages. Like, I think it's like so accurate because it's like everybody you meet fits into these. Okay, so if you don't know what the 5 love languages, it's a book. PD, can you remember who wrote it, just in case? Because I have it somewhere, but I couldn't find it before this, and I really want to
something great. Something great.
If you actually know who wrote 5 love languages, or you can Google it, please write it in the comments and I'll pin it, because it's an amazing book that I think that everybody should read. So basically what it says is that everybody in the world has 5 love languages. And these love languages are how you want to be loved and how you show love. And sometimes...
And everybody, and actually, just a minute, like for everybody, there is something that if a person does it to you, you will feel loved. Everybody has this. And it's been categorized, and she's about to tell us.
Yeah. So the 5 love languages are, the first one is words of affirmation. So that's basically you like people saying nice things to you. You like people, I guess, praising you, giving you verbal encouragement. The second one is physical touch. So it's like you're a very touchy-feely person. You like to be held and so on. The third one is acts of service. So that's actually like maybe, I don't know, if you're a guy, she has a problem with her car or whatever, you come and you help out and you're just there doing things. You're a fixer, you just help. You're just always being of service. So that's acts of service. What have I got so far? Words of affirmation, physical touch, acts of service. My favorite, and this is one of my love languages, is gifts. So some people are like, oh, I don't really care about the material things. And for me, it's not material, but it's just like, oh, wow, you thought about me and you went and bought this. And like, even when I show love, like I like to give people really thoughtful gifts. So words of affirmation. Another thing is quality time. So you like spending time with the person. So no matter what, you'll make out time in your day for this person. And that's how you show you love them. You like spending time together. You like doing things together. Even if it's just like chilling in the house or whatever, you just like being around each other. So that is words of affirmation, physical touch, quality time, acts of service, and gifts. So those are the 5 love languages. Okay, they're saying in the comments, Gary Chapman is the author. Yes, Gary Chapman is the author. This book is amazing. That's right. If you haven't read it, like, please read it.
It's a good book. Mm-hmm. And the question is this: do you know your partner's love language? Because you must. And you've got to know yours. I mean, like, of course you know yours. You know what it is that when they do it to you, it makes you feel loved. And you can't force your partner to speak your love language. I see people do this a lot all the time. It's like you do to them what you would like done to you, but it's different. You might like plantain, but then she likes oranges. So it's not, you don't, and you can't force them. You can't change their love language. I've seen a guy say, well, I send her abroad every summer and I buy a new car. And she says, all I want you to do is just sit beside me and watch this movie and spend time with me in the kitchen. And that's all she wants. But he's wired to just think, I'm just going to do this for her and she should be happy. And a lot of men have that way they just feel you should be happy. But, it's a lot more than that. Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I mean,
any questions on love languages?
Clara's saying that she thinks that she has all 5 love languages. And yes, I think everybody has all of them. It's like nobody hates these things, but there'll be probably like 1 or 2 that will probably stand out for you more, or they'll mean more to you. And there are probably one or two that you probably do more naturally to somebody else if you're in a romantic relationship with them.
And that's good. That is true. Most people will have more than one, but there will probably be a dominant language that you speak. Like if it's done to you, you would just feel loved. And to clarify, for a lot of African men, they like to be fed. Let's just put it out there. You could categorize, you could put it under acts of service. It's fine. If not, you could put it out and it could be a language by itself. But there are men that if you don't feed them, they're not going to feel loved. If you're out there, just give me a shout out. Any other questions?
I can see another question on this. Somebody's saying that acts of service is her like primary love language, but she wouldn't mind a gift maybe once in a while. And her partner does loads of acts of service, but she wants to know how to tell him that she would like a gift once in a while. I mean, so what do you think is the best way to just put that in there just nicely, like
by telling him? Communication
exactly.
communication doesn't have to be cloaked and dagger. He's like, guy, I love you and I really love you. I love to get gifts from time to time. Like we've got to build a relationship with the people that we're with in a way where we can communicate openly without just openly. The idea that you got to think, how do I tell him? It's too complicated. It's simple. It's like he should be able to tell you what he wants. How he wants it. And you should be able to tell him the same thing too. You're friends, and now you're going to be lovers, hopefully married. You've got to talk, and really don't have areas that you can't. Like for a lot of people, it's called toxic topics, where if we talk about this topic, we're going to quarrel. For some people, it could be like their mother-in-law. If you mention his mother that day, you are going to have a fight. Or it could be money. If you talk about money, a fight. Or it could be his ex or something. But you should not have that in your relationship. It's a toxic topic and it's left in the dark, and the devil works in the dark. So you don't want that. Everything, you should have to talk about things and resolve things. Okay?
I mean, Yasmin is saying that hers is gifts and acts of service and her husband's is the other three. And I think that's the thing. Like, I mean, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's really about understanding your partner's love language, because sometimes when you have a certain love language and it's not being met, you can feel like this person really doesn't care. But then they're actually showing you love in their own language, and you may not be seeing it because it's not relating to yours. So I think it's so important for like both of you to understand each other's, so it's easier for you to compromise.
And that's true, because this even carries over to other types. Like I mentioned, one language is called like a functional language. Now, when two people get together, you're coming from two different places. You were raised here by these parents, you were raised there by that parents. Things mean different things to you. When you come together, you're going to notice something, that there are times when what you say is not what he heard. If there's anybody here that's had that experience where you say something, but they hear something different. Or you do something that's supposed to mean something, but they interpret what you did to mean something different. It's a functional language. And you can't, the best way to get past this is to learn what it means to them. So if eating when they're not there means you don't love them, then stop eating when they're not there.
Yeah.
You get? Don't force them. Don't continue eating while they're not there and say, well, why? I don't know why it upsets you. And then you just keep
doing
upsetting her. That's not love. So what you do is that you adjust to your partner's language, and she's supposed to adjust to yours as well. And then you get along. So it's like a person speaking one language, the other person speaking another language. The best way to get along is for each party to learn the other person's language. So that way you find an even ground quickly. So that's really, really important with communication. And then there's money language, with money language. Money means different things to people. And money is the main reason why a lot of people quarrel, is over money. But then it's because it just means different things to people. If money could mean security, then you want to keep it. Money could mean investment, you want to invest it. Money could just mean status. You want to buy the biggest car, But the key is this: you compromise. If you got a million naira, you keep a part for security, then spend another part of what you want. So both parties know that when money comes in, I feel a bit secure. You get your nicer car, my money comes in. I feel more secure. I invest some more. You get a bigger house. So it's a good compromise. It's about understanding what your partner's needs are
Yeah.
and factoring it into your plans. I can remember a young, newly married guy came and said, I always make a plan. I have a 5-year plan, 10-year plan. And my wife never makes a plan for herself. And I said, well, you know what? You're married now. Your 1-year plan has to include her. So
Yeah.
you've got to carry your mate along. Okay, people,
So
talk to
Jay
me.
Sachs is asking, can love languages change over time?
Um, they hardly do. They hardly do. Sometimes you can get influenced after being married to a person for a very long time. Sometimes it might rub off, but they hardly do. You know, if you're a person that you just like words of affirmation, you like people to encourage you and tell you how well you're doing and how you know you're not doing badly. If you need encouragement, you're gonna need that a long time. You're gonna need a person who's gonna each time you hear somebody build you up, you feel good, you know. But there are some people that they don't need any form of affirmation
Yeah.
at all, you know. So it doesn't change a lot. It's not something that swings, except you just never discovered the right one in the first place.
There's
Fantastic.
a few more questions. Adetunji, okay, I'm gonna answer a bit of this from a woman's point of view because he's saying I'm more about physical touch and acts of service, but do you mean I can tell the lady what I need? And so for me, I would just say, yes, you can tell her, but when it comes to physical touch, it's a bit iffy. Like, I don't think you can just be like, oh, I like cuddles, but I guess you will know that you can actually, some people actually start with that, they'll tell you, okay, look, there's a word for like people that like touching, like, oh, I'm a very tactile
Touchy feely.
person. So yeah, like I'm a tactile person. So don't feel weird if I'm like, let me know if it's your boundary, but I kind of like to hold hands or I like to put my arm around you, like I'm
And,
just
and
a touchy person.
and also too, it depends on where you are in the relationship. I mean, you can't just have met this lady, like, you know, and then you're telling her,
Please.
you know, and guys too, I'll tell you this, guys, if you're listening, your ears open. When you meet a lady, do not refer to her parts of her body. Not in the first date or two, or not even in a while. Where don't, like, you know, let her just kind of feel that it's a certain part of her body that's just attracted you. We know that for you, your eyes are everything, but still you got to control yourself. You can't just meet a lady and say, well, I like your what or that.
Dang,
No,
girl.
just get into her head. Exactly. Damn, girl. You know, no,
Dang,
you don't want to
girl.
do that. That's not really cool. Girls, you know, if you're a woman here, wave your hand and tell them you don't want to do that. You know,
Don't do
fantastic. Good.
it. Clara's saying that her like significant other doesn't believe in love languages, but then I still think they exist. So whether you believe in it or not, I think it's kind of like gravity. Like he probably
No,
still
no,
wants to have
okay.
one.
It's like this. It's like this. And this is just a fact. Every single human being in the world has something that if it is done to them, they will feel loved. Except they're just not human. Now you might not call it. See, this love language thing is like it's like a box with a label on it, and it's okay. You can throw the box away, you can throw the label away, and that's fine. But the facts in it are true. Where for every single person, even for Clara or whoever asked this question, there are things that if I do it to you, you are going to feel loved. And if I do it constantly, you're really going to start to love me back in return. It's just the way we're wired. Everybody, most people, if I met you and I speak nicely to you, I be kind to you, and I'll serve you. You offend me, I forgive you. I ask after you. I don't demand anything from you. If I say anything, I mean nothing, and I'm generous to you. Each time I smile at you, each time you interact with me, you're happy because I just don't drag you down. I keep encouraging you. You're not going to run away from me. Does that make some kind of sense? And so you might not take the labeling and the packaging, but the truth is that for every single person, there are things that if it's done to you, you will feel loved. In fact, love is a verb. It's something you do to people, and we all need to know what love is. Any other questions?
So does that mean then, like from what you're saying, that if there's maybe somebody that you're talking to, if you love them enough or you're loving enough to them, then they're going to fall in love with you in return?
Oh, for real. I mean, except see, if their heart's not available, which means they're in some other relationship, But if their
If
heart's
they're single,
available
they're
and they
single.
leave their ears open to listen to you, and you know what love is, they will finally fall in love with you.
Okay.
That's true.
Uh-huh. That should be hope for
That is
somebody.
true. Yeah, because they'll make you happy. You see, it's like sometimes people just don't understand. You want to be an oasis in the desert for whoever it is, where when they come to you, you're just there. You're there to accommodate them and accommodate whatever it is that they're going through. Where you want to talk, we'll talk. If you want to be silent, we'll both keep quiet. If you want to be encouraged, I'll encourage you. You know, if I have something to give, I'll give you. You know, and you know, it will just it will click. But sometimes I see men or people who it's like I see what you want, then I see what you're doing, and there's no connect. It doesn't make sense. You're quarreling with her siblings. You're criticizing her on every point. You are you're so opinionated on everything, but you're hoping she's gonna love you. No, she's not gonna love you. She's gonna put as much distance between you and her. But when I see people where you're pursuing this girl, where you're doing all of these things to her, doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. That's not love.
Yeah. So someone else is asking, do you think that low self-esteem or low image could hinder someone from knowing his or her love language?
It's possible. It's possible. It could blur your vision. But if you like after listening to a night like this and you go back and you do like a think, just sit down and think and say, well, what would I like someone to do to me that would make me feel loved? And if you think it through, you will find it. And if you're lucky enough to find a person just come and treat you really nice in some way, you will know that when he does, or when he or she does this to me, I really feel loved. When they ask after me, when they sacrifice for me, when they give me stuff, I'm just like happy. You will figure out everybody has a love language, but everybody should you should know. You should know what it is. If you think about it, you'll actually get to it.
Yeah, this is an amazing question actually from Temsy Drops. She said, "Are you implying, or he? I'm not sure. Are you implying that there are no toxic topics in a healthy relationship? Because I feel everybody has something they don't feel comfortable talking about. Like, no matter how much I love you, there may be some topics that are off limits to some people."
In a healthy relationship, there should be no toxic topics. Especially when you're married. Like when you're married, you've become one. You've just become one. Everything should be open. In a healthy marriage, everything should be open, nothing hidden. Because this person that you're with has seen you like, naked, you know, physically, spiritually, whatever. By the time you're hiding stuff, you're not strengthening the union for sure. Marriages should not go forward with people hiding stuff. It's just dangerous and it doesn't build you up.
Okay. So how do you broach those sensitive topics? Because I mean, some things are triggering for people, maybe from their upbringing, or there are some things you've been brought up not to talk about. Like some people, maybe it's money, maybe it's things that are more personal, maybe family issues. I mean, okay, so like when you get into a marriage, there may be things. You said that no topic should be off limits. I know this is something that I've seen flare up in people's relationships before. If you're in a marriage or you're in a relationship, you may have maybe family issues that your family would even be saying, don't let your partner know this one or that one, or don't tell Kwame or Quaker, whatever your partner's name is, that this and this and this. Like, so when there are things like that, how do you draw the line between respecting the boundaries of the other people who maybe you're involved in their situation and being able to share everything with your partner?
Personally, I will tell my partner everything. I say, well, they said I shouldn't tell you, so you're not supposed to know. But hey, this is what's going down. And because even the person who gave you the advice, and I've been there when mom could say, you know what, don't tell your wife how much you give me, okay? Because mom is feeling some kind of contention there. But it's like, wifey, I want to give my mom this. She doesn't know you know, so just keep a straight face. And yeah, because you and if the marriage, if the union is going to be strong, then you both have got to be committed to it and be open. And there should be no shame. There should be no shame. There should be no pride. You're together, and if you bond to that level, nothing can come against you. You both of you will survive it, because you are like one unit. But when there's a crack, when the enemy comes, it's that crack that he's going to come through and split you up.
Yeah.
So you don't want that crack to exist. You guys are one unit, no cracks.
And I think that speaks to like keeping that one unit together. So when information comes into that unit, you keep it in the unit. Because I guess if your partner talks too much, then that's when you're probably not going to want to share things with them. Because you also may not want to hear your business outside. So I think if you're in a
Yeah,
relationship, then
yeah,
keep your
yeah.
information within your
I mean,
marriage or within
like,
your
yeah, yeah,
relationship or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
There's
it will
Kemi's
hurt if your partner, like, your partner went and blabbed all your
lab.
personal stuff out there. No, partners, you don't do that. Don't do that,
Yeah.
no. Okay.
Kemi saying some people do not have a giving love language. Remember, we also live among sociopaths and can't speak English, narcissists.
Okay, it's like this. In every game, there are rules. And to be successful in the game, you've got to play by the rules. Now, in the game of relationship and marriage, there are rules. And one of those rules is generosity. You know, and if you're going to play the game and play successfully, you've got to play by the rules. It's part of it. Love gives. Love gives. Don't choose a person that's not willing to play the game by the rules. What I see a lot is that we choose people for various reasons. Then you choose a person who's not willing to play by the rules. You're gonna have problems. You will have problems because they're just not understanding the rules. Love gives. Love is sacrificial. Love is intentional. You do it on purpose. Love doesn't take offense. Love forgives. Love does a lot of things. And these are just the rules of love. Love is about the other person, and you can't come in and attempt to be successful playing this game. It's like you want to play tennis, but you want to play with soccer rules. It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
So let's start to be careful. Like if the guy's a narcissist, he should be by himself. What do you do with him? I mean, you're looking for love in the wrong place.
This
You just
kind
get
of,
that.
yeah, it kind of leads into another question though. So what if you're already in that situation and you're married? Because there's a question here that's saying, what if you're constantly voicing your love language and your partner never yields? Like, what does that mean? Or what can you do if you're in that position?
Okay, this question is interesting and it's not so difficult. It's like this. Your partner is not trying to go learn it. He doesn't want to know it. But I tell you this, if you consistently speak into his love language, or it could even be female, if you consistently speak their love language, but as you do it, you let them realize, you know what, this thing I'm doing, I know you love it, and I'm doing it, okay? But so and so, I would love you to do for me. No nag, just let him or let them know what you want. And then you continue speaking the language. I'll tell you this, if you like, what happens is this, we do this tit for tat thing, and love does not do tit for tat. So it's part of the rules, it doesn't work. In love, you sow, you continue doing what you want to them till they start doing it to you.
Yeah.
So you sow what you want. And I'll tell you why it gets difficult is that your partner pisses you off, okay? Now, your partner behaved badly, okay? So now you're pissed. Your natural thing to do is to do something to them that would piss them off. But actually, what you want from them right now is love.
Okay, yeah.
Do you get it? So a mature-minded person is not that even though you piss me off, if what I want from you is love, I will have to do something to you that's love, that's going to bring love back. And that's difficult, but that's the rule, and that's what works. You see, at the end of the day, if you're in a relationship, you don't want to do what makes you feel good. You want to do what works, okay? Because if I do something spiteful to them, their response to me is going to be spiteful. So if I want love from them, even though I have not gotten what I want, I have to do something that's going to bring love out of them. Now, this is difficult, but it's doable, and that's what works.
But PD, like, especially in, I guess, African context or whatever, I know women old women that will start telling you like, oh, I didn't start enjoying my husband till I was 60 or till he retired. And so like, how long? I mean, I feel that like, I don't know, but I mean like now life is short. You don't know tomorrow, especially now we're in coronavirus and everything. You don't know tomorrow. So how long? Like if someone is really like hard-hearted, like some people are mean. So how long will you continue like doing love and doing love and doing love and doing love? Like, do you think that if you're constantly loving, not like,
But
oh, I
you're the
love
one
you today,
that
tomorrow
chose
I
them
fight you?
now. You chose them. You
Ah,
chose them. They were there by themselves. You chose them. So at the end of the day, it's a cross that you carried yourself. You see, that's why before you get married, look well. I mean, seriously, before you get married, one, know what love is, and look for any people. And if you don't see it there, don't go there. Don't say because they look like that or like this. No, but see, you chose them, so you had a part to play. And I tell people when I counsel people before marriage, is like you've got two choices. You can get yourself a tamed horse, okay, like a show horse. So you sit on the horse, and the horse gallops and gallops, and you're comfortable. Or you can get yourself a wild horse, and then you got to break the horse in. Has anybody watched horses being broken in? It's pretty rough. You hang onto the rope and it's a bumpy ride. And for a lot of people, they chose the bumpy ride because maybe, they wanted, what's the word now? They wanted a gangster. Okay? So now, so
that's
now,
the
you know
thing.
what it is, married to a gangster? It's rough. But then in some context, it was cool, right?
But
But now,
okay, but that's the thing, because a lot of these decisions were made a long time ago. A lot of people like gangsters, and then they got married to
yeah,
them, or they have
have
children
a
with
happy
them,
life.
and they're stuck in that. You're stuck in a situation. It could have been a situation that you wouldn't choose right now, but maybe like a few years ago, that was your choice, and so you're now stuck with this
You
person.
should have come
Can
to
you
me for
love enough?
counseling.
No, but can you love enough to turn the situation around?
um, um, you've got to just like turning things around is all about you sowing the seed you want. And if you're consistently sowing it, eventually you'll get it.
Yeah.
And that's why people say, after some years, then the guy changed. But then, they chose a rough guy and they had to be with him throughout the years that he got mature and he got some sense and he got to know what love is. And that's good. Some people just never get to know what love is till they die. And that's really bad. But it's a cross that you carry. Thank you
What
very
about
much.
some people that change
Give me
along the
another
way?
question. What?
Okay, I'll just want it. But some people change along the way. Maybe he was suffering. All of a sudden, he's made money, and now the change is here. It changed halfway. He wasn't
No,
like
when
that
people make
before.
money, they get worse. When people
Yes.
make money, they get worse. I'll tell you, when people, you do not know your husband till he has money and power. Even your wife too. When people get money and power, they get freedom, then they start to express themselves. And
Yeah.
a lot of people, you don't know who they are. Yeah, like especially people who haven't had a lot of money, you don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Because when they get money, they could be different.
They turn into something else. Okay, we have another
Yes, it
question
could be.
here. Someone said, I've read some books where they don't advise sharing very sensitive topics like abuse. Do you agree?
Sharing topics like what?
Abuse.
I don't agree. Because it's like this. If there's stuff in your past that I can't take, then I shouldn't be with you. Because what if I'm drinking with my boys one day or hanging somewhere, and then somebody from your past sees you, who I know, and tells me the whole story? So then the whole marriage is over? I mean, why? That doesn't make sense. So not every book that's a book is a book.
But then how soon do you share?
Like you make sure that you're in the relationship, make sure that that at this point it looks like it's going to move forward to something serious, and then there needs to be a sit down like, okay, you know what, I really need to tell you this, and open up. If he loves you, if they love you, they'll stay. If they don't love you and they go, then they never loved you enough and you didn't lose anything. Because you will find a person who will take you, bag and baggage and everything, and love you and treat you by name. Because the thing is this, when I meet you and you say this was what happened to me, I believe that the person I have now is a different person from that person that went through whatever. So my job is to bring some closure to your life and give you some peace, and even play a part in building you back together and bringing back some self-worth into your life. If you're with a person, that's what you're in there to do for them, to make them feel worthy. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I guess there's another question that came out of that. Someone's asking, does that mean then you can blab or talk a lot about an ex? Like, should you go into details about your previous relationships?
No, I the worst thing you can do on like a first date or two or
On the
three
first
is
date.
talk about your ex. I mean, that would be and some people do it. Some people actually do it. You're on a first date and you talk about your ex. Really? What are you thinking? No. You know, and why should your ex be a topic when I'm with this guy or this person that's blowing my mind? You know, I mean, if our discussion went there, sure, we'll go there. But once it's over, it's over. If I start bringing up my ex, I'm going to say, well, maybe you want to spend more time with your ex before I kick your butt to go see your ex.
But then I guess, do you think that men especially feel, I guess, uncomfortable hearing about those things? So if you're married, should you even still tell your husband about previous relationships that you had before him and things like that? Or
Why would you have
be
to
open, like you said, there should be no secrets in
it's
your
like this. Before you
relationship.
got married, you had time to say everything. Why would you, while you're married, start discussing your ex? For what?
Or
For
you
what?
bump
I'm a
into
guy.
him and you're like, oh, you
Guys
see
have
that
big
guy, that's
egos,
Joe.
and
Ah,
we don't
Joe.
want to hear it, you know? So it's like, what? It's like, no, that would be bad.
So no talking about exes, even in marriage.
I mean, like before you get married, you know, talk about everything, settle it, you know, and let him know. See, men don't like surprises. Where I didn't know you saw this guy, and then somehow I'm with my boys, and then my friend nudges me and says, you know, that guy, and then connects that guy to my wife. You know, it's gonna be a rough night. So let them know before that this will happen. And nobody's a saint. He's been around too, and you have. So at this point, we're together, and we're gonna be clean. We're gonna
So
stay
when you're
safe.
dating, you should tell him every single thing.
I mean, I like full disclosure personally.
Yeah.
I mean, some people, and it's like this, and this is to the men. Don't ask your woman or wife to tell you something you can't handle. Because I've seen that too, where men say, tell me, and then you tell them, then they can't handle it. Then it's a big deal. You know, so if you're a guy, if you know you can't handle it, don't ask to hear. Just close it and keep going. But if you ask and you're told, you know, each time you ask a woman a question, no matter how, whatever is your mind, know that if she be ready to take it if she tells you something that swings the other way. You know, you don't want to do that. Judy, is there anybody out there that, let me see, do you have any requests? How do I check my requests? Okay,
Wow,
shoot
there's
some
loads
questions.
of
Shoot some
questions.
questions. So let's move as quickly as possible. We have 3 more minutes, and then
Okay,
we're
so let
done.
me read some questions really quickly. Zinni's asking, how do you get your partner to communicate well and open on everything?
Can you say that again?
How do you get your partner to communicate and be open on everything or about everything?
By telling them. Like you've got to be able to speak to your partner, and it's like, tell them that, you know, I really would like you to be open with me and tell me everything, and don't be afraid. And sometimes too, we behave in a threatening kind of way, and so out of fear, they don't want to say it because they feel if I say it, I'll lose this chick or I'll lose this person. So you've got to reassure the person that you know what, I want to know, and you know, I really care for you, I love you, so it's okay. I just want to know.
Yeah.
And get them to that point.
Okay. Someone else is asking, does giving have to be material? Most guys don't believe that it should be. So
Giving.
Giving. So should you be in a relationship, I guess, should you be giving? Because she's saying that, or he is saying that a lot of men don't think that they should be giving gifts, or I don't know, maybe
Men
giving
should be giving
material.
gifts? Really?
I think
Where
they
did you
should.
get this guy?
I
I mean,
guess
like,
it's talking
that's the
about from the
strangest
love
thing I've
language.
ever heard.
So like, if your love language is gifts, does it have to be material gifts?
No, even generally, I'll tell you this. I'm a man. And there's a woman that I like, and then I don't want to give her anything. That's not love. Like, I don't understand. I mean, I'm just like lost. I just don't understand. Because if you care for a person, you like them, no matter how small it is, you'll get them something. You'll give them something. If I have it, and I'll give it. And that's a very bad sign. If you're not yet married and they're behaving like this, you know, personally, if I was a woman, I wouldn't marry this person.
Yeah.
If I was a woman, I would not marry anybody who was just not free with stuff with me, because that's going to be my lifetime struggling to get stuff out of this guy. No, for me, it's a deal breaker. If I was a woman,
if a guy's too stingy.
I think so.
Someone is saying, my partner's always serious and uptight, but it's a result of how he grew up, his background. But I, on the other hand, I'm very free and friendly. He's a very good guy, but I wish he was more like me. But it's not his fault. That's how he grew up. Is there any advice you can give them?
Okay, the word is this. We all grew up from different places, but we don't have to stay there.